for all your support on my first video. And if you haven't watched it, you can go back and see the intro and origin story. I'm just so grateful for all the support and the engagement and the questions. Keep them coming. I love it. I'm so excited to answer them. And just thank you so much. So let's get into it. The tax topics for today. There's two of them. I was going to do one, but I just had to give you two because tax time is kind of here, and you're going to get ready to, gather all your information. So the first one is for 2020. It's going to affect your taxes that you're doing now for last year, 2020. And that is charitable contributions. So you normally could deduct charitable contributions if you itemize your expenses. So most people don't have enough to itemize, so people take their standard deduction, but they changed that. So now everybody can write off up to $300 of charitable contributions, donations, and it has to be cash. So you had to pay somebody, or pay a qualified organization, a 501c3 organization, and donated money to be able to write it off. So keep the receipts. You can do up to $300 and give that info to your tax people. Put it in your taxes. You can get a $300 deduction for donating to charity for last year, for 2020. So that'll help you for 2020. Now, the other tax topic, number 2, is meals. So when you have a business, you can spend money on going out to eat with your clients and stuff. And that normally is only 50% deductible. You can only write off half of that cost for meals. Well, they changed that because, the restaurants are suffering. So they want people to go support the restaurants. So for 2021, this year, and 2022, next year, all the money that you spend on restaurants will be 100% write-off for businesses, which is awesome. So take your clients out to eat. Have meals in the office during meetings, if you have an office, or when you're traveling for business. All those meals that you spend money on will be a write-off, 100%. Even if you do like a team building event and you buy food for people, for your employees, just for your team. Also, people working from home now a lot, and this gets a little tricky because can you order food for them, have it be delivered to them, and have it be a write-off, 100%? I say yes, because if you're having your employee, do overtime for you, if there's a project that you need them to finish, and you know what, you're going to reward them by feeding them and having them fed so they can get through this project, that's for your benefit. That's for the benefit of the business. So yeah, you can write that off 100%. So it's a really great little change that they did for meals. So those are the two tax topics. Now let's get into your questions and answers. So this is fun. So Betty asks, are you sharing information for your current company or have a new business venture? This is for my current company. I don't have a new business venture. I'm sharing this info as me being the CFO of Reality Smash and also doing the taxes for myself, for the company, which is a corporation, for my family. So all this information is me just sharing related to tax and accounting and entrepreneurship, because Reality Smash, we're building this business. So it's all related to that, which leads me to the next question from Casey. What is the best advice someone has given you related to business, and how did it weigh on an important decision you've had to make? I thought that was a great question. And I had to think about it. And the advice that I've gotten is iterate your way to awesome. So what that means is you might start with something, and as you work it, as you get feedback from customers, it might turn into something else, and you just iterate and you change and it evolves. And it was hard for me to do that, and I struggled with that because I'm a numbers person, and I'm 1 + 1 = 2, and that's what it is, and it is what it is. So it was hard for me to like pivot so much, and we've had to pivot a lot being in virtual reality starting back in 2015 with the new technology, and it would frustrate me, but now I'm learning that's all it is. It's just a game of iteration, and you're gonna make mistakes, and it's okay. You're gonna make mistakes. It's just, that is what it is. Just start, do something, make a decision. And that's all it is, just different decisions along the way. So it wasn't really a business advice that I got that made me make this big, huge decision. It's kind of like some advice that I've gotten to make decisions along the way, and it's an ongoing basis. So iterate your way to awesome. Just take action. The next question from Dave. Have you found there were any surprising lessons you took from your theater arts degree that proved useful in accounting and finance? Yes. When I started with theater arts in college, we did a lot of improv, and it was really creative, and I loved it. And so much creativity was flowing. And, there was a lot of classes where we did that. And I thought going into accounting and finance, I would lose the creativity, but I just use it in a different way. So, how to, for example, the meals thing that changed. So, hey, maybe you can be creative and deliver food to your employees and have that be 100% write-off. So the creativity didn't die. It just evolved and changed, and I'm expressing it in a different way. So that was a great question. Another one from Eddie. How hard is it to do your taxes yourself? Do you think it is best to have someone do it? I would say if you have just W-2s, 1 or 2 W-2s, it's so easy. It's not scary at all. I thought it was scary. I had 1 W-2 working at Black Angus, and I love all the Black Angus peeps that replied. And once I knew how to do it, I was like, that's it? Really? So it's really easy. It's just, with the W-2, you have boxes. It's just putting those numbers from those boxes into the right place. And it's really not that hard. Once you start to, start to own property, sell stock, be a partner in a partnership, LLC, maybe have rental property, it does get a little bit more confusing. And I would say have someone do it first. And you could even have someone teach you how to do it in like a TurboTax software. That's the only thing I'm familiar with is TurboTax, when I used to do it myself in TurboTax. And then you know how to do it, and then you can do it the next time. And TurboTax is really good because they guide you. They ask so many questions that they make sure you're not missing anything. So you could totally do it yourself, or have someone teach you, pay somebody to do that while you watch them do it in the software, and then you know how to do it for next time, as long as things keep staying the same, So that leads me to the next question. Matt asks, and so we have 2 more questions after this. So just Matt and 1 more question. And Matt asked a question that has a lot of information to it. So I'm just going to kind of try to hit the bullet points. And if you have any follow-up questions from this, you can let me know. But his question is, I just got into the stock market. How will it affect my taxes? What do I need to file? What percentage goes to the government? So there's a lot of questions in that. And I love it because GameStop, the craziness that happened with GameStop, it's so great. People are getting into the stock market now, and it's great. And so to answer his questions, how will it affect my taxes if he bought stock? It doesn't. If you buy stock, nothing changes. If you buy it and just hold it. So when you buy it, what you paid for it, the cost of what you paid for it, that's your cost basis. It will only affect your taxes when you go to sell the stock. So when you sell it, you are going to realize that either you sold it for more than what you paid for it and have a gain, a capital gain, or you're going to sell it for less than what you paid for it and have a capital loss. So that it just depends. If you have a gain, you're going to pay capital gains taxes on it. And it's only if it's long term. So let's say you buy a stock and you sell it within 1 year, that's considered short term. So if you realize a short term capital gain, then you're going to pay your ordinary income taxes. And that's those tax brackets, just like Google federal income tax brackets. Those are your wherever your income falls, those are the rates you're going to pay. And it's kind of like staggered. So like for the first $10,000 of income, it's a certain percentage. And then the next chunk, it's another percentage. So it's kind of like marginal. So when it's a short-term capital gain, you're going to pay ordinary income taxes. If you buy the stock and you hold it for more than a year, then that's long-term capital gains. And those have different tax rates. And just Google capital gains tax rates long-term, and you'll see that if you make $40,000 or less, then it's 0%. You don't pay any taxes on the selling of your stock. 0%. If you make $40,000 up to $445,000, then you're going to pay 15% capital gains tax on your capital gains. If you make more than $445,000, then you're going to pay 20%. And that's the max. 20% is the max that you're going to pay on capital gains. If you have a loss and it's big, you can only deduct $3,000 each year. So if you have a loss of $9,000 of capital gains losses, the first year you'll deduct $3,000, then the rest gets carried over to the future years, and each year you get to deduct $3,000 until it's used up. So that's the basics of the selling of stock. If you have any other questions on that, let me know. And we'll get to the next question, the last question from Duke, which is, how do we get this out to people who aren't already your friends on Facebook? Great question. So I'm using this live stream software called Restream. And right now it's broadcasting to Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. So I've got some people from Periscope. From Stevio, he says, OMG, thank you. That's great tip. I'm so glad the tax topic was a great tip to you. And another one from Jay Han, he just says feet. I don't know what that means, but feet. So right now it's being broadcast to YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. Periscope, which is Twitter, basically. LinkedIn, I had to apply, so that's not out yet on LinkedIn. And for Instagram, I have to manually upload the videos because Instagram doesn't have their open source software to be able to plug into this Restream software to be able to live stream. I could just have my phone right here be live streaming to Instagram at the same time I'm live streaming to Facebook and Periscope and YouTube. That's a thing. So I'll post links to those other channels, but Duke, I'm broadcasting to all these other channels. So it's going out there everywhere else. So those were the questions. I loved it. I love the questions. Keep them coming. I love the engagement. And I will be back to talk about another topic and answer more questions. So this has been great. I want to keep it short. I know your time is valuable. Thank you so much for staying tuned and watching. But I'll keep doing this and keep the questions coming and the engagement. Thank you so much. Have a great day.